Good afternoon. I'm Tim Berry. I'm the Administrator of Williamsport Retirement Village, and I'm here with Kristi Ashton, our Covid Coordinator. And it's been a little while, but it's time to give a COVID update for you. Kristi, a lot of things have been happening recently. Maybe if we could start in October and talk about the education that was provided for the indoor visitation, and then we'll talk about where we are today.
Sure. So the date that comes to my mind is October 20th. At that time, our county positivity rate was low. It was right around 2, and we were able to do a lot of great education with our family members so that we could welcome you indoors to visit your loved ones. And we had a great turnout. We had, I think, around 250, family members turn up for that, which was wonderful.
Okay. And then, so we had scheduled a week of visitation a few days later. I think it was 2 weeks later. We had planned for the first round of indoor visitation, and we were able to have visitation on Tuesday and Thursday. And this has been a few weeks ago, and then we hit another bump.
Mm-hmm. We sure did. So we had a positive case for a staff member turn up, and then most recently a resident case turn up.
Okay. So from early October to now, a lot has changed in the community with regard to COVID, and there's been a resurgence. So can you share a little bit about what that looks like and what that means to us?
Certainly. So as I mentioned previously, October 20th, the county positivity rate was around 2. You look at that number today, it's 5.9. So quite a jump. And of course, we're concerned. Our surrounding communities are also seeing a jump in Pennsylvania and West Virginia. So we take that very seriously. Obviously right now we're in an outbreak mode because of the cases that we've had. So we can't allow indoor visitation, but even so, the county positivity rate is one of those criteria that we are constantly looking at to kind of guide us in what we can do in terms of visitation.
Okay, so specifically, what does that mean to us today? And then looking a little bit into the future, what are you anticipating?
So as of today, we can't offer indoor visitation, so other means of visitation through iPad, hugging station, or windows is permissible. Looking into the future, we have to have that 2 weeks under our belt where we're negative for testing in order to welcome folks back indoors. Governor Hogan had come on yesterday to just kind of describe how the state's looking, and we're seeing those increased numbers that's, in relation to our county numbers. So we have to consider that piece as well. So even if we have all negative testing for 2 weeks, there's still a great risk in the community. And so, our perspective here is that we always want to err on the side of caution. And we've decided as a facility that we would like to preclude indoor visitation just for the month of November to get us through, this period where it's more risk than ever for our community.
Okay, and this is a time also to pour as much communication on it as possible. That includes staff. And then we will be generating a letter this week to send out as well to give a little bit more detail for some of what we're talking about. The website and the 1919 extension through our main line remain resources that we encourage you to access so that you don't, so that you most importantly can be updated about what's happening on the campus. And then when we resume indoor visitation, so you can be aware of the hours and if any of those visitation times or dates have been rescheduled.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's all accurate.
So it is the holiday season. It's an important time for you and family members. We're wanting to get back to indoor visitation as quickly as we possibly can. At the same time, as Kristi mentioned, we are seeing increasing numbers, and whereas we're not panicking,
right,
we're certainly wanting to be careful to keep the house safe because that's the major course of business. Testing will be on a weekly basis through the end of the year.
Yes.
What does that mean for residents? And when, so they're being tested weekly now. We'll continue to test staff on a weekly basis, residents only when we're in active outbreak.
That's correct, yes. The residents will only be tested in response to a positive case. And like I said, that's for 2 weeks. You know, if we remain negative for 2 weeks, then we're outside of an outbreak phase, at which point we would just revert back to staff testing.
Okay. And there's a little light at the end of the tunnel on this one, in that there is a vaccine with an efficacy rate of over 90% that is being spoken of. We're understanding at this point, things could change, that access to that vaccination would be first through healthcare providers and then general public later on next year. But it's good news. It's good news from what we understand for all of the vaccinations, the COVID vaccinations that are currently being tested. So we're hoping to get to the end of this as soon as we can. We've got a ways to go. We appreciate your support. And if there's any information we can provide you, please let us know. Thank you so much.